questions when you know the answer. Now that's the lesson, let it man. Now you're wondering if I should love, yeah. Now that's the lesson, let it man.
The good, the bad, and the sexy. Just basically songs on the album that represents that. I have a song, for instance, called Slow Kisses that I think is very, represents the good. And a song called Pull My Hair, which is pretty bad, you know. And I think all of it is sexy, just the entire project. So just wanted to title it something that had a little kick to it. And really my manager actually came up with that title, and he was really slick with the idea. And it worked very well with the concept of just every song is from back to back. You'll just be able to feel that energy of being good, bad, and sexy. I didn't really start with a concept. The only concept I can say I started with was to take it a little bit more mainstream. My last album, Signature, was very retro, I would say. You know, live music from beginning to end, and it was just something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do a live record with just horns and strings and kind of take it that old school feel. But this project, I wanted to go back mainstream, like My Name Is Joe kind of album where I had Stutter, and also I had I Wanna Know, and you know, records that just sort of marked a peak in my career. So it's fun to go back mainstream. I started working on it, let's say, I believe I started about 4 months ago, and it was a really quick process. I mean, I got with all the producers and writers that I've worked with, some in the past, some I haven't worked with before, and we just kind of went with it, you know, just whatever came out. I actually recorded a lot more songs than I'm putting on the album, but you know, it was great. I mean, it was a nice, smooth process. It wasn't like the Signature where I sort of sat down and wrote song for song and tailor-made each record to feel a certain way, string parts, composing everything, and it was a very collective process, which I really enjoyed, and it pushed the process through a lot faster as well. I did over 20-something songs, maybe about 23 songs, and you know, some I really wanted to go on, but you know, it just wasn't room for it. You know, it just would have been too much, I feel, because I think you have to go with a certain vibe and feeling when you're making an album, and it's something I've always done in the past, and I think that's why people still buy, you know, my albums. You know, they buy the whole collective project. You know, I mean, singles, people sell a lot of singles, and I do sell singles as well, but and I just appreciate people appreciating me putting the thought and the effort into wanting each song to feel just as good as the singles that we put out. I call it equity, you know, that you can continue to survive off of. And I mean, that's what got me started into the music industry in the first place. You know, I started out as a songwriter and a producer before I became a recording artist. And so that opened the door for me a lot of times. You know, just bringing in some different perspectives. You know, it's always good to be interdependent. Basically have a team of people who can get the job done with you. And I have no problem bringing in other writers. And they had some young, great concepts coming in, you know. I mean, it was collaborations throughout the whole thing, you know, but I mean, just sitting down and just listening to their concepts and blending those with mine was really instrumental. It was very crucial because I love to be current, you know. I love to stay current. Anything I do, even if it's like with Signature, I still want to do that live music in a more current kind of way. And you know, I didn't want to take from the old school the way the impressions and the way they tell into certain things on the production side. You know, I just wanted to give them my view of what live music feels like inside of me. And the same thing with this. You know, I wanted to give them my direction where I want to go with this album. Anything you hear on the radio, that's a hit. You know, it's pretty much a catchy thing that something that gets you. If it catches you, that's what we call catchy. You know, and I would love for it to catch you. I would love for it to be something that catches you and your attention. We may not like that phrase because it sounds like it's sort of one of those cliche kind of things, you know, that doesn't really work with it. With real music, you know, it doesn't really fit in that same category. But yeah, I think any of the songs that that I do, I try to make sure that the hook at least is something that you can remember. You know, simple enough so that you can remember, and good enough that it will affect in some kind of way. I wanted to give you goosebumps as well. Well, you know, I think the whole point of, you know, writing songs for the masses at this point is really to get something that they are going to remember, like completely, utterly, that's going to shape and sculpture a memorable part in their lives. You know, when you go back 10 years later, you hear this song, you're like, I remember exactly what I was doing. And a lot of times it's because of that hook, and it's because of the feel of the song, it's because, you know, the words, obviously, you know, meant a lot to you. But it's that moment. It's that moment when you heard the song, what you was going through. It could have been that person you was dating or that you're still with. Or it could have been a high school match or track meet that you was getting ready to run. You used to listen to on your headphones every day. For inspiration. So it's those kind of things. And I always want to generate music that will affect, that will have some sort of connect with the listener. And I hope that it's catchy.